Howdy Eggs, Clinton Haby here, class of 2002, past president of the San Antonio A&M Club and Foundation, and I did pretty much every other role for a period of maybe about 12, red ass 12 years around Aggie Park. Love the place, always in the blood. We'll never completely get over the love of Aggie Park and the San Antonio A&M Club. So when Angel asked me to speak a little bit about marketing and the importance of it to y'all, I was sad because I wasn't going to be there today for y'all. My grandpa passed away last week, and me and my wife are still getting over COVID, so we got a lot going on. I will say that, marketing is super important. You can do everything else correct, and if you ignore marketing, your events and everything that you do will crash and burn, fail miserably. I think that historically Texas A&M is a culture, we're an agricultural mechanical school, we're engineering and ag historically. We're not a marketing school. And so for a very long time, marketing has been very neglected. Former President Gates of the university automatically understood that, hey, we have a really good story here at Texas A&M and we're not telling it. We're doing a terrible job of promoting ourselves. And if you live in College Station, you don't know any better because everybody there is an Aggie. If you live in San Antonio, you start to pick up on the fact that there's Longhorns and everybody else everywhere. And you know what? If you don't trumpet, the things that are great about you, nobody's going to know. And it's no different at Aggie Park with the San Antonio A&M Club and the events that y'all are putting on. Y'all are putting a lot of effort into the things that you're doing. And, it's like when somebody has a wedding and they don't hire a photographer, it's like you put all of this time and effort and it's such an important thing in your life. And then after it's gone, you have nothing to show for it, right? So part of marketing is documenting what you're doing as you're going, which is super important, but then also using that content to inform people about what you have coming up as well. So a few different things. Actually, I'll give a little bit of background about my professional background, I guess. I worked for Larry Mays. I worked at Clear Channel Radio. It's now iHeartRadio. And one of the things that I learned in radio that's relevant to y'all is the idea of frequency. When we would put together radio ad campaigns, the idea would be achieve a frequency of 3. A frequency meaning how many times are people going to hear your message? Because the first time that somebody hears your message, it maybe won't even register. The second time, maybe they're a little bit more familiar. Maybe the third time they even act. But that line of thought was something that was taught in like the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s when I worked in radio. The frequency of 3, letting your target market know what you have going on in a compelling way 3 times will hopefully get them to act. Okay, it's 2025, y'all, and there's way more marketing mediums than just radio and TV. People are getting bombarded everywhere all the time by messages. So if you're only telling people just one time about the things that you have going on, you're really not going to get a response, and your events are going to fail, and you kind of get what you have coming if you don't market. So the next stop in my career, I worked for a company called DMX, not the rapper. It was a digital marketing experience. And what we did was sensory branding. And the big thing with sensory branding is controlling the way that your customer feels. And the way that we did that was through music, scent, video, and all of these things are appealing to people's senses and in creating the type of behavior that you want for your customer to have. Okay, so like you walk into Aggie Park and maybe it smells like David Gerke's food at a Monday lunch or something like that. You walk into like a hotel and it smells like chocolate chip cookies. Okay, we're probably not going to be doing sensory branding at Aggie Park anytime soon, but everything that you do impacts the way that the people around you feel. And so not only in your marketing, but in the way that you conduct yourself and in the way that you engage people when you're at events. All of that builds, and it all matters. And every single person in that room right now, all of you matter, and you're there for a reason. And you're not there to serve some random person that bends your ear, at Monday lunch or at an event or something like that. You are qualified. You have been vetted. You have your seat. You are there to exercise your freaking human brain. And so God bless America. I hope that you do that while you're on the board. And you know what? If you're a first year board member, it's okay to be a little bit reserved and, take some time to figure out how everything is working before you start piping up. That's what I did. But I guarantee you, go into everything 102% if you're class of '02 like me. Get into everything, get your hands dirty, and understand this club and understand the membership and who you're serving. Because the most important thing in marketing is to understand who in the world is our target market in the first place. And something that you'll find is that they're really not that different from you. The beautiful thing about being an Aggie is we all have so much in common with each other. We all have this beautiful commonality. And so marketing shouldn't be too incredibly hard, but it takes effort, and it's a conscious effort. And the way that you make the people feel around you is obviously super important. Okay, fast forward, I'm a filmmaker. I do story keeping now. And there's a few different things marketing wise that I'll say that ties into what I do these days. Number one, stories. All right. Y'all are telling stories. If you're not telling stories in your marketing, you're failing. Stories have the power to change the way that people think about things. If you are appealing to emotion, you can move people. Right. And that's totally my goal in all of the productions that I do is I'm trying to make people feel something. And if what you're committing yourself and your time to at Aggie Park has no emotion involved, if you can't resonate or hit a nerve on some level, then why are we even doing this? Right? I hope that each and every one of you are super passionate about this year and the service that you're going to do and the committees that you're on. And I hope that you put yourself into it so freaking hard that everybody around you cannot help but support the things that you're tugging away on. Right? Like that's the amount of energy that I hope each of you have. And if you have that, the marketing will also happen. Right? And the story of the A&M Club becomes your story as you are a volunteer for it. When I was Young Aggie coordinator, I made everybody that was a recent grad come along with me. I want to go to a concert. It's a Young Aggie event, right? Like we're doing this. Everybody, people that were my friends, I made them my officers, right? So make sure that as you're going out into your community, find opportunities to pull in your friends and pull in that network, because the employees of the San Antonio A&M Club and Foundation can only do so much, and the blood and the heart and the energy of the San Antonio A&M Club and of Aggie Park from the very beginning, it is always sprung from volunteers. It's always been the membership. It's just like at Texas A&M. The very best things at A&M come from the students, not from the teachers, not from the faculty, not from the regents. Everything that's good about a community is born organically of the people that are just at the very bottom rungs and getting their hands dirty, that are doing it for love of the game. And so when y'all are there as board members, I want y'all to make this experience and this opportunity your own. And I want your story to be a part of the San Antonio A&M Club story as well. The last thing that I want for any of you is for you to go into this year and come out of it completely unchanged, not feeling like you gave it your all, not feeling like you made a difference, not feeling like you made a difference in the marketing of the San Antonio A&M Club and Foundation. So I think that's pretty much, oh, you know what, Angel, he did want me to touch on the core values. the core values of Texas A&M are the same things that we hold up with the San Antonio A&M Club. And that's when the San Antonio A&M Club is operating at its best, is when we are all being the types of people that we're supposed to be being, right? And I think that the closer that you get to an organization or really anything, the closer that you get to something, the more you see behind the curtain. You see things that you don't like. You butt heads with people that see things differently than you. But that absolutely happened to me many times in the decade plus that I was volunteering. But and I thought about quitting a few times. But ultimately, what I decided was that I was there. Like, I understood why I was there, and I understood the impact that I wanted to make, and I knew why I wanted to make it, right? And so don't let anybody else at that club, including me, if I come up to you and I'm a jackass, ignore me. But don't let anybody else try to discourage you from making something good happen. Pull everybody along with you. Pull the team together. I believe in y'all. You're all there for a reason. Make it an amazing year. Observe the brand standard guidelines because that's your foundation to operate upon. But make it your own, y'all. Make it your own. Thanks, Gig 'em.